was 3 years old, my dad took me surfing. It was something I was curious about, like many things you are when you're 3 years old. And so he took me out on the nose of his board, and when we finally caught the wave, he pulled me firmly up by my life vest strap. And I've been riding the waves ever since. Let me just tell you, I don't know a greater thrill than surfing. As my brother Jude states, it's like walking on water with a board. It's just awesome. This is not a talk about saving our oceans, which is important because without it, surfing would be nothing. And it's not a talk about how I can surf. It's about something so much more important than all of that. As my love for the sport grew, I was becoming more educated and more afraid. When I was in 3rd grade, my parents got me my first surfboard. And I thought that I was going to be really excited, but it actually made me more terrified. At that moment, I realized how big the ocean was, how many sharks were in it, how we didn't know much about what was under the surface. And it was really hard for me to develop this fear and anxiety of something I had always been taught the beauty of. So when I told my parents, they didn't understand, and because they had practically raised me there, and so they were like, how can you be afraid? But it was simple because I was older and I was more aware and had been influenced by my peers to fall to fear. For my 3rd grade presentation, I decided to read about Bethany Hamilton, the young surfer who at age 14 was attacked by a shark and lost her arm. Strangely, this didn't scare me straight from surfing. It invited me back in. When I saw how she, after being attacked, was able to keep the faith that the ocean was still a place she could marvel at, it really inspired me. I saw how when she was attacked, she spent several months recovering, but after that, she spent the next several months rebuilding her strength to surf again. Yeah, she was really scared, but she knew that her heart wouldn't be satisfied until she had done it again. And courage doesn't mean that you don't get afraid. Courage means that you don't let your fears stop you. I realized the fact that there wasn't a need to be afraid. The likeliness of getting attacked was so rare, and you have to remember that it's their home, it's not ours, we're the trespassers. And when you think about it, I mean, sharks killed 9 people last year, and we kill 11,417 sharks per hour. So, also, did you know that you're more likely to get hit in the head with a coconut than attacked by a shark? Life is a lot like surfing. When you get caught in the impact zone, you have to keep on going because you never know what's over the next wave. When I found that there wasn't a need to be afraid, I could recognize the change in my attitude, and I really wanted to test it out in the ocean. And I got to test it out with one of my best friends before she moved to Colorado. And when I was with her, she helped me fight the fear on that day. It was really important for me to show her that I wasn't afraid, that she had nothing to worry about, that the ocean was just a place. And so, because she was one of those kids when she was little that was terrified of the rides at Disneyland. So when she saw my reaction to the ocean and she wasn't scared, it really helped me to recognize the need to show her that I wasn't afraid. So I paddled out with her and I never looked back. From that first wave, after that recognition, I began re-embracing the ocean in all of its glory. When I found my fear and confronted it, I went through a realization period where I found that I hadn't been afraid. I had only known the powerful truth of something so much bigger than me. This isn't about some fear. It's about connecting with something bigger than you and using that thing to better yourself. Think of how amazing your life would be if you only strove to work with things that are bigger than what you are. Surfing isn't a sport for stupid people who say radical and dude and like hang loose. It's more than that. Surfer Stoke gives surfers a more laid-back attitude about life, and it is beneficial to their psyche. Also, it's been proven that you should spend more time in the ocean rather than a swimming pool because it's alive, and your body will be able to replenish itself with living water, and it will be beneficial to your health in the long run. This fear of surfing has become my lifestyle, and you have to look beyond allowing what you first initially feel and where you want to go to control who you are, and that will open you up to an amazing experience. So when you find your fear, think of something right now that you're fearful of, that's bigger than you. And think of how you can use that to find something you love. I'm trying to encourage you to use something bigger than yourself to better yourself. Because the thing that I had most feared has now become my obsession. And it's taught me a life lesson that nothing else ever has. When the waves of the sea helped me find the little girl that I used to be. The ocean is my source of revitalizing energy, and it helps me and it thrives on riding the waves. When I'm at my favorite place, it's more than that to me. It's where I found how I wanted to be me. What's better than faith, than a love whose depth is greater than ever? How beautiful it is the way the shoreline is always promised the return of a wave. When I'm at the beach, I don't find a need to go home because I feel that I'm already there. I crave the sand between my toes and salty hair. The ocean is huge. Oh, go back. The ocean is huge. The waves travel miles upon miles. All I do is meet them. I embrace the internal promise to myself that I'll never fear the ocean again by riding amongst its waves.